びの時代は終わる。
螺旋が
The big plot twist will be revealed in Chapter 17. After Koji shows his identity in front of Shikamaru, this will lead to several new scenarios, especially the cooperation between Koji and Shikamaru. Although currently all of humanity has been affected by the ability of omnipotence, it does not rule out the possibility that this power has a counter. Supposedly, Koji, who initially doubted Boruto because according to his memory, Boruto was not Naruto's son, began to follow his heart and believe Boruto's confession that he was Naruto's son and his name was Uzumaki Boruto. Since then, Koji believed Boruto was the son of Uzumaki Naruto and Kawaki, not Naruto's biological son. And maybe you still doubt and argue that Ida's ability is absolutely irreversible, or, in other words, no matter how hard the person tries to fight their memory, it will return to normal as before. But after the conversation between Koji and Boruto in Chapter 13, I believe, and strongly believe, that omnipotence still has a loophole, even though, according to Amado, the ability will never disappear, meaning it is permanent. Because after Koji believed Boruto when Boruto said his name was Uzumaki Boruto, Koji's memory should have returned to normal. And in fact, until now, that identity still proves that all this time, Boruto was Naruto's biological son. In conclusion, following your heart is one way to counter that ability. And regarding Koji, of course, this will create a new scenario after Koji's confession to Shikamaru that he is an ally of Boruto, the person who has been hiding behind the scenes and also a source of information for everything Boruto knows. And in fact, there will be something big that will happen in Chapter 17. After Koji confirmed that Jura will visit Konoha, especially the bookstore, then Koji advised them to treat Jura as a normal visitor, because then Konoha will not have a bad situation if they don't provoke Jura's anger. And of course, since the revelation of Koji's ability as a singularity of fate, and also as a person who can see the future, every word Koji says is a clue to what will happen in the future. Even with Koji's order for Shikamaru to send Team 7 to Suna Village, of course, Koji had seen what would happen if they were assigned to face Ryu and Matsuri. Bad scenario or not, Koji had a very ideal plan for Konoha. Even so, of course, this decision would pose a risk of what he would determine. If in Chapter 17 there will be a great battle between Team 7 and Shinju, of course, it could be a bad situation if Konohamaru becomes a victim of the Divine Tree. But behind that, this will make a good situation for Konoha. And for this main topic, we will try to predict what Jura will do when he visits Konoha. Because again, every word Koji says, of course, this is not something without reason. And most likely, Koji has seen that soon Jura will visit Konoha. I have summarized some points that Jura will do and what his purpose is when in Konoha. But please understand that this is just an analysis as a fan. So the first one is Jura's visit is not for direct confrontation. If Koji suggests serving Jura like an ordinary person, this suggests that Jura may have specific reasons for coming to Konoha other than confrontation. It could be that Jura came to observe life in the village, gather information, or even send a symbolic message of his dominance to Konoha. In other words, Jura is demonstrating his power or position as a major threat without the need to use violence directly. It could be an action, demeanor, or presence that gives an implicit message to the Hidden Leaf that he is in a far superior position and they do not have the power to resist him. And if he also intends to visit the bookstore a second time, it means that there are some things that Jura wants to explore about the history of Konoha. And of course, this has a deeper meaning. Bookstores are symbols of knowledge, and this might be a hint that Jura is interested in the history, jutsu techniques, or philosophies embedded in Konoha. It is possible that he is looking for information about Otsutsuki or something related to his power. And of course, in Chapter 17, there will be a lot of secrets revealed and some new scenarios that make this story even more interesting. By digging up some important Konoha information, of course, Jura will benefit to fulfill his desires. But when it comes to information and matters of importance, this will be a challenge for Konoha, especially Shikamaru as Hokage. Because after Boruto's interrogation, Konoha's enemies have now been revealed if Jura and the Divine Tree Man are a threat to Konoha. And of course, Koji's advice to Shikamaru not to provoke Jura is a tricky part, or it can be said that will conflict with some of the higher-ups of Konoha, especially the daimyo. Because after the blunder that Konoha made by letting Boruto escape and also not taking strict action against Boruto, who has been visiting Konoha frequently lately, this will be a bad situation for Shikamaru. The point is, if Shikamaru lets Jura and treats him as an ordinary visitor while Jura's position is an enemy of Konoha, of course, if Shikamaru does not take special action against Jura, Shikamaru's position will be the one most blamed by the Konoha elders. Because once again, this will make Shikamaru's position as Hokage threatened. But if Shikamaru's position is threatened and there is a possibility of being dethroned as Hokage, who do you think will replace him? And besides Jura's visit to the bookstore, it is likely that this is part of the mental testing for Konoha residents. With Jura's nearly invincible power level, he probably does not see ordinary humans as a threat. By acting like an ordinary customer, he probably wanted to see how the people of Konoha reacted to his presence. This could be a mental test to assess whether they are fearful, aggressive, or neutral towards him. Because once again, Jura is a villain from the reincarnation of Ten Tails who has good intelligence and analysis. Not rash and always curious, this is the most interesting thing about a villain who is different than usual. Nothing is impossible. There could be a potential hidden plan that Jura will do. Even if he behaves peacefully, his presence could be part of a bigger plan. For example, distraction. Jura's presence could be a diversion to allow his allies to attack elsewhere. So far, Koji has revealed that Matsuri and Ryu will arrive at Suna Village. But there are some divine tree people who are still in their hiding places. So far, I don't understand and know what they are called, where they regenerate and also serve as their headquarters. If Matsuri and Ryu are on a mission to Suna Village while Jura is visiting Konoha, there are two possibilities if Hidari and Mamushi have another mission. And about the distraction, is it possible that they will do a mission to kidnap Himawari? What do you think? And besides that, there is also the possibility that Jura's presence is part of creating fear. Just by appearing in Konoha, he could affect the morale and psychology of the villagers. But regarding this matter, it doesn't seem too important, because honestly, if Jura visits Konoha for the second time, Shikamaru will be responsible for all of this. Because once again, Shikamaru's current position is in a big problem and goes awry. While he has to follow Koji's order to treat Jura normally, he also has to give a reasonable warning to Konoha, especially the Konoha elders. The problem is, Shikamaru has no ideal information or reason why he should treat Jura like that. It is true that if Konoha does something outside the plan and provokes Jura's anger, it will make Konoha destroyed because it has no chance of winning. But will the stubborn Konoha elders listen to Shikamaru? This is interesting to watch. Actually, the analysis and also the theory about Jura visiting Konoha have a lot of reasons. But which do you think is the most ideal reason? As a final conclusion, Koji's toads are currently scattered in several locations of Konoha. If Jura will carry out the act of kidnapping Himawari silently or openly without a fight from Himawari, will Boruto come to save her? But remember, Boruto will not force himself to fight with Jura. If this happens, of course, Boruto's priority is to save Himawari. So, what do you think? Which one makes the most sense if Jura visits Konoha for the second time? And that's some of our analysis of what might happen in Chapter 17 if Jura visits Konoha. If you have other reasons, let's discuss. Like and subscribe. I'm Nim. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye, Data Bio.